reminisce about some things. I pray peace upon y'all families this morning. I pray peace on your loved ones who are incarcerated, and men, women, and teenagers. Uh, I feel as if this video needed to be heard because men and women who go to prison their first time, they do not know uh, the concept of prison. And being new to prison uh, can get you in a situation where you can be raped, you can be played, uh, because some people their first time going to prison, they uh, they have fear in them. They be scared and not knowing that when you go to prison, all you have to do is observe and just be ready to uh, fight for yourself. Fight for yourself, right? And what I mean is that a lot of men and women in prison, in the women prison, they have rough women. They have women who rape women. They have women who play people out of their stuff. Women prisons is really tough, and it's not so much as easy. Women prison is really a tough place. But when we go to these prisons our first time, we're going into the unknown, not knowing totally that all we have to do is pay attention, because you have to make your mind up, right? You have to make your mind up to to be ready to entertain anything that come your way. But prison has a lot of game in it, right? The inmates, they have these games they play. See, let's just say you move into a cell and it's some candy on your bunk, and you just take the candy. You don't know what the candy's being there for, but you get the candy and you eat it. Well, you just put yourself into a played situation. So the guy come in, you're selling, and he might say, "Hey man, what happened to that candy that was on that bunk?" And you might say, "Oh, well, I thought somebody gave it to me," because you new to the prison. You really ain't paying attention to what was what. So he say, "So you ate that candy?" Say, "Oh yeah, I ate it." And you gonna say, well, I want that same candy back." And you might say, "Huh?" He say, "Yeah, I want that same candy back." And you like, "Man, I get it when I go to come." So he say, "Nah, I don't want that candy. I want that same candy you just got to eat." He said, "Well, man, I can't give you that candy. I ate it." He said, "Well, I want it out them guts." He said, "Huh?" He said, "Yeah, I want it out them guts." He said, "Well, man, I can't give it to you out my gut." He said, "Yeah, pull them bridges down, because I'm going up in that butt. I'm going up into that butt, and I'm getting it." And that's the kind of game men play in these thrills. And I'm talking about, this still goes on. You might think I'm playing, but they got so many games that they play in prison, to the point where you be thinking, man, these dudes tripping, man. But you have so many people that's done been in prison for so long, and that's all they know. And then you got these booty bandits, right? You got these booty bandit guys. They call booty bandits. And I'm talking about real booty bandits. I remember one time one of my partners, I was SSI, right? So they had this little Mexican guy. They used to run around all the time and with Jesus signs. Jesus love you. Jesus love you. So my one of my associates that I used to deal with inside, uh, Blackjack. Blackjack say, I'm finna go fuck that boy. I say, man, you going in there and try to fuck the boy? He said, man, I'm finna go in there and fuck that boy. So they ran in and out. Blackjack went into the man's cell. He don't care if the man had a celly. He didn't care nothing because this is what he been doing his whole time in prison, raping boys. So he ran into the man's cell. I didn't even go down there to see if anything took place. I didn't go see, or cause it didn't have anything to do with me in that kind of thing, right? I couldn't save nobody. It's one thing I couldn't do. I couldn't get involved in some of the things that these dudes did, and I just couldn't, right? So next thing I know, when they had finally run the in and out, uh, the partner of mine, he come out of the boy's cell. So I'm looking at him. I say, man, this boy here crazy. So I say, man, you raped. I say, you raped the boy. He say, nah, I ain't raped the boy. I say, what happened, man? He say, the boy pulled the Bible out and say, you want to study the Bible? So Blackjack say, no. He said, I want some of that. I want some of that. I want some of that. I want some of that butt. I want some of that butt. So the boy say, man, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. So by the boy being willing to do it like that, Blackjack didn't even do it. Blackjack said he didn't want to do it because he couldn't take it. He wanted to take it. And see what I'm saying? That mind frame, the man wanted to take the man's stuff. He wanted to do it in a physical way because this is how he been living in prison all these years. And you got these kind of guys still in prison with this mentality right now today. So you kids going to these prisons, you boys going to these prisons, not knowing that, you know, if you put yourself in a position to get played, that's what you're going to pay with. You're going to pay with your butt. You're going to pay with your mouth. You're going to be turned out. You're going to be turned out. Not knowing that this couldn't took place. Not knowing that, and you already heard about what goes on in prison. You done heard it outside, but you still want to be out here in these streets and you want to do wrong. You want to do wrong in these streets knowing that you ain't bad enough to go in prison and survive. You can't survive, boy. You ain't gonna survive. Because these men in these prisons been in that prison for so long and they prey on kids. They prey on them. Boy, you're not gonna make it. They will rape you. Literally rape you in prison. I know they've been in these prisons, they've been in them in dormitory aspects, they in moderation, but they still rape kids in dorms. When a man make his mind up to rape a boy, he does it. He does it. I've seen in the old prisons, they have building showers where they send 25 at a time to go to the building showers. And in the hallway, before you enter the shower, you get out of everything. You go butt naked. So you have these guys that play just to see if you're gonna fight. So if you one of them boys and they got they eye on you to rape, to play out, they would get behind you. They would put their piece upon your booty. They will put the piece on your booty. And if you say, oh, and he might say, oh, excuse me. He done put his piece between your booty cracks. And all you said was, oh, you gonna get raped in the shower. You about to get raped. They had the hot water on. They had a steam on so thick. And sometimes the officer who's working the shower is behind the gate. And they got a brick wall going where you can't really see in the shower. Behind that big rock, that brick wall, you're gonna be on the floor. If you let somebody accidentally bump into you butt naked and not turn around and hit him in his mouth, hit him in his face, you about to get raped because you got played and you were scared. You were scared. See, when they had these scare straight programs back in the day, the men was physical with the kids because they was trying to get a point across to them. They was trying to get a point across because if you came to prison, there's so much you had to look out for. And that was for yourself. See, if you couldn't look out for yourself, you was in trouble. You was in trouble, boy. You was gonna get raped. Because see the word of the grapevine goes on in prison, right? Let's say you live on a tank of men, and on that tank they know you kind of weak, or they know you've been already tampered with. And I mean tampered with, you not already been got. They done already went into you. So now they gonna tell their homeboys. So guess what? Somebody else is finna come to you. And this is gonna go on because see you so afraid, you so afraid and scared to protect yourself that these men that lives inside the prison, that rape boys on a regular, that messes with boys on a regular, is gonna run through you unless one of them gonna make you his wife. And that's the title it's gonna be. You're gonna be his wife. See, y'all out there in them streets, right? Y'all out there in them streets, and some of you out there in the streets is think that you are bad. But see, in prison, it's somebody in there badder than you. It's somebody in there badder than you with a sick mind. With a sick mind, people. These men is in these prisons with all this time, and all they think about is messing with a boy that comes into them walls that's fresh. Y'all going in here looking good, going here with these old girly haircuts. You in trouble. You need to keep a bald head. And the first thing you should buy. Good morning, Lawrence. How you doing, my brother? I'm just giving it like it is, and if you've been there, you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth because, see, we know that but they have a program in prison now called PRIL. And PRIL is trying to prevent these kind of things that's going on. But you still have men that get done like this here and won't go tell it. They won't go tell it. Some become so enjoyable of what's taking place in their life that they won't even go tell it. You can't allow men All you women inside that's being done even in the same way to allow men to treat you in this matter, even in prison. Because, see, you are a man. You are a man, you're not a woman. And as I say, if you go to prison and you are not ready to fight, you are not ready to stab, you are not ready to kill when somebody is coming to you to treat you as a less of a man, then you are in trouble. You're in trouble. Because prison, they are still raping boys in prison. Don't think they're not. Because they are. They don't care about the time that they'll receive because they already have a lot of time. They already been raping boys and been given time. These people are still walking in the hallways. These people are still living on the same part that you live on. Prison can only protect you to a certain extent. And if you are new, then you don't even know what's about to take place. Pay attention if you go. Look at your surroundings. Don't be in a hurry to make friends. Don't be in a hurry to receive anything from anybody. Because these guys, they play games with people that's coming to prison that don't know about prison. It used to hurt me. It used to hurt me to see some things that went on in prison that I didn't have no control of. I didn't have no control of. All I could do is protect myself. All I could do is protect myself. I was on East Ham, and there was a rugged place. It was a place where you was weak, you was in trouble. You was in trouble. And the sick people that was there, I'm telling you, if you free, stay free. Because if you go to prison and you are weak, you would get raped. You would get raped. You would be in trouble. Because they pray. Well, you know what? Tortured. I'm not going to say so much as tortured, but I seen where guys would burn dudes with cigarettes. I seen guys would literally whoop a guy with belts. All right, Glenn Iris, much respect to you, but I've I don't, back in the day, right? Back in the day, you seen those things, truly seen men really get hurt, really get, I would say like the person that's doing the intimidating, right? They would really all right, my brother, all right. They would really prison was really rough back then, right? And it was rougher back then than it is now. You have some facilities now that's really rough, and they play these games, but in prison back in the day. All right, thank you all for watching and being interested in what I'm giving this morning. But I'm giving this because I was thinking about, I seen a guy, right, and this guy, he fit the description of a penitentiary punk, right? But he was trying to be bad, and I told him, I said, man, you better not never go to prison. I said, you better not never go to prison, cause boy, you gonna be in trouble, right? And he didn't know it. He thought it was funny, right? But I was being real because I seen it so many times. I seen it so many times, man. You got some dudes in prison that's really at that point, at that stage in life where they've been gone so long, to the point where, man, you had to be bad coming out, because see, them dudes been in there, they've been in there practicing, they've been in there exercising, them boys in shape. So you got to be in shape to be able to rape a man. You have to really know how to fight to rape a man. So you better know how to fight to prevent from being raped. Because them dudes is bad, man. Them dudes is bad. They fighters. Most of them are some damn good fighters. Because if you run in a cell on a man to rape him, you had to be bad. You had to be a bad fighter. But I seen a lot. I seen a lot go on among the men in prison. But I also seen men in prison allow this to take place on them. They didn't put up no fights. I seen some of the simple things take place in prison, man. Really, man. I seen dudes, man, really give up and not put up no fight. And it was told. I was surprised because when I was sizing the person up and thinking that this person would protect himself, and didn't protect himself. He allowed this to take place in his life. And you have to live with this. See, when you got out of prison and this was taking place on you, you're gonna think about this. But if you accepted it on a daily basis, that means that you got turned out and you was okay with this. So you're gonna take it to the world with you. You're gonna take it to the world with you. And it wasn't supposed to be. Yeah, you right. You totally right. Violence does happen over some of the smallest things, right? And that's how it all take place. That's how they get you, over the smallest things. I'm talking about, it don't be nothing major. It just be something small, right? You might go sit down, right? You thinking that seat ain't no, there's nothing in it. So you go sit down in that seat. So another guy comes, say, man, why you sit in my seat? And you might say, oh, I ain't, what nobody. He might slap the shit out you. He might, excuse my language, please. Excuse my language right there. But he might slap you just to see if you're gonna fight back. Yeah, and that's what you, and see, if you're in the old prison, right? They have runs. They have what you call runs: 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows. Some units got 4 rows. You don't look in nobody's cell. You don't look in nobody's cell. See, because you got some of the guys, that's what they looking for you to look inside their cells. See, they catch you. You got some guy literally walk to run and looking in every cell. So you're gonna walk in one of them cells, and one of them dudes gonna say, hey man, what you looking for? What you looking for? As soon as these doors rolls, I'm gonna give you what you're looking for. And that's all it took. And you might say, man, I wasn't paying. No, don't worry about it. As soon as these doors roll, I'm finna give you what you're looking for. Cause that's all they needed, was something to initiate something that don't even mean nothing. So what he looking in your cell? If he stopped and stared in your cell, then that's a difference. But if he just walking and just walking, he really not paying attention, but looking. See, they'll say that, man, I don't know if he'll steal something or not. That's the excuse they're gonna use. That's the excuse they're gonna use. He could have been a thief. That was just a reason for them to hurt the person, to get at the person, to cause These men are still raping men in prison, people. If you knew, you don't know what's going on if you knew. But I'm telling you, if you knew, all you have to do is pay attention for a while. Pay attention on a daily basis. It's going to take a while. Let me tell you something about them punks, right? Hey, man, I was on some units, and I've been on 11 maximum security units. And let me tell you, hey, man, those punks have more fights on a daily basis than any other parts. Every day, punks are fighting. Because see, on the punk tanks, see they got punk tanks, right? So punks have men, right? You got these things they call relationships, they call husband and wife. So you have wives fighting wives behind they men because they men be going behind they backs and messing with they men, and man, them punks be fighting. Let me tell you, be fighting. Man, they got close custody punks. Man, they got some punks that will whoop you. Better respect them, let them go on about their business. So, yeah, punks, they punks fight a lot. Punks have more fights than regular population because of the relationships, because of the men messing with punks. You know, yes, there's more fights on a massive security unit on protection than any other parts. And I'm talking about regular parts. See, you don't have those kind of things going on too much on a regular part. Every now and then you have fights, but you didn't have fights like they did on protection every day, all day. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight, and they be out of fight. The punks be fighting. The punks be fighting. Yes, I seen a lot. I seen a lot go on in prison after doing 20-something years. I started at a time when it wasn't too much respect in prison. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Yeah, I had that, but let me tell you something. See, you have to have your mind made up if you're gonna put your silly out, right? If you were, but I didn't have a lot of fights, right? I didn't have a lot of fights, and I wasn't no coward. But I would throw hot water on you. I would throw that. I would put snicker ball with how I would, I was that kind of inmate, and I was known for that. I would hit you with a fan motor. Cause I wasn't no hell of a guy with my hands, but I was a hell of a guy in the matter of I wasn't gonna let nobody hurt me. I was gonna hurt you. But a lot of guys used to like to be my celly because I was laid back. I had been done a lot of time. I was laid back. I didn't really trip, but I had a lot. In most of my cellies that I had to put out with psych patients. I'm talking about, time has started changing in prison where they had a lot of psych patients come to prison. And you had to deal with them, and some you just couldn't deal with. Okay, thank you. That's basically what I'm here for. If y'all have any questions, y'all ask me, and if I can answer them, I'm gonna answer them truthful, right? Because I wasn't a really bad guy in prison, but I was known everywhere I went. It's in. I was on Telford. I was on East Ham. I was on Wynn Unit. I was on Ellis One. I was on McConnell. I was on Styles. I done been to 11 maximum security units, and everybody know Dre Dog. Everybody know Dre Dog, and then when I say everybody know Dre Dog, okay, you have a great day, man. Hey, you have a blessed day. You have a blessed day today, and I'll be here tomorrow. But uh, like I say, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you. You know, it's not. It wasn't easy for me, right? It wasn't easy in the aspect mentally. Physically I was all right because, like I say, when guys know the extent that you will go through, they're not gonna mess with you. See, when a guy know or hurt him or he gonna have it hard, he not gonna mess with you. But a lot of things I did, I gave respect and I stayed out the way. I was living in the game in prison, and to the point where I did a lot, uh, doing things, and I could have got hurt. I could have got hurt, but I didn't, and that was a blessing. That was a blessing. But if you go to prison, pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention because they still raping in prison, people. They still raping in prison, man. They still doing things to men that don't make no sense and it don't supposed to happen unless you allow it to happen. This is Andre Wade with Just Release, and hey, man, I'll be back. I'll be back with something else, and I want y'all to know, if you have anything that you can donate to me, I'm here to willing to accept it. I'm just being real. I'm willing to accept it. So I just want to pray and just let you all know that I love you, and y'all just have a blessed day. This is Just Released with Andre Wade, and I'll be back with something else.